When my parents gave up their idols. When my parents gave up their idols for the Christian faith, they asked a priest from the nearest temple to send the household gods off. The altars, gold calligraphy on red sheet metal, were left at the base of a rain tree. The next day, they were gone. The altar table was not so easily removed. A dour work of dark pine wood without any charm. It had stood in the living room for as long as I could remember. We tried changing its purpose. At one point, storing my trophies and plaques behind its glass. They never did look right there. After it was finally hauled away, Father had to paint over the soot left by burning years of incense. What to put in its place? My bookcase from IKEA sagged and leaned forward alarmingly. The corner was too small for the dining table we rediscovered every New Year's Eve when we sat together for my mother's steamboat treat. Then, there were no more reunion dinners when my sister and I moved to the States. My parents changed the round table for a rectangle and jabbed it into the space. Now, the table holds boxes of tissue, biscuits soft enough for my father's gums, mother's diabetes pills, and my white laptop when I visit during my summer break and wish to write. Delicacy in gaudy things. The tip of a peacock feather. Porcelain spoons in a plastic bowl of ice kacang. The face of a 4-meter-tall Guan Yin. These are common examples of delicacy in gaudy things. More uncommon is the delicacy not found at the edge of things, or in their finish, or at a height, but the opposite, like the heart's recognition of a gold Rolex watch on a thick, hairy wrist. When one could show up the ignorance of a loud-mouthed enemy, but refrain, that is delicate too. Mount Faber is a misnomer. Mount Faber is a misnomer for the hill by which I grew up. It is not even the tallest hill in Singapore. I don't know who Faber is, but the word has always sounded delightfully like fable. I went to a very small school on the hill. Radin Mas Primary School consisted of two distinct parts. The lower grades at the beginning of a long flight of stairs, the upper grades at the end. It was enough to teach one about large ambition and little achievement. About the efflorescence of Singapore poetry in the last 2 decades, the critic Willie Sui is right. It is not the result of cultural change, certainly not because of government programs. It has sprung up like wildflowers on a hillside, and it may die without changing the landscape. The best of us still aim to be major generals of a reserve army, pioneers of second-rate products, prime ministers of an island. The dreamier turn to poetry. On every visit to Singapore, I make it a point of what? To walk up Mount Faber, going by the road that winds Toyotas and tour buses up. From the top, I see on one side the public housing estates, intricate and useful. and on the other, the featureless sea, caught by the hand of the hill, as if thrown there by a storm, lodges a boat. To the hungry eye, it is a seafood restaurant. To the hungrier eye, it is an ark. I look at the sea again, and now I see the ships on the moored horizon. I recite quietly a tanker composed a while ago. Because this country has no mountains, we think highly of hills. Look, we point to the peaks where we can live. I'll just read a few more short ones, right, to end on. Things that quicken the pulse. Hurricane warning. Running the hand through a man's thick hair. Merino wool cardigan. A wave of flamingos taking to the air. Happening on Matisse's red studio. The thought of an approaching quarrel. The restaurant door opens and lets in a draft. Hybrid things. Not only India, but also Japan. Think for a moment of Zen. All things. All things diminish as they grow older. A friend of many years said last week, even the expanding universe must contract. This morning, as I'm boiling water to make coffee, his words come back to me, as sure as before, but smaller, because the whistling of the kettle takes up space. The steam was not so long ago a patch of snow. Love is what life boils into.